hardest thing you'll ever do in your life.
Oh, dude. So good.
Digging a hole is so hard. I can promise you, my mother-in-law's koi pond is above ground.
It's so good. Now I understand why people get caught for murder.
I do hate digging.
Dude, it's so rough.
I
Especially
identified
rocky.
so hard with him on that point.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I used to have to dig ditches and stuff.
just any hole for any reason. I had to dig a hole to like put our dog in.
Yeah.
And man, I was maybe a foot down. I was like, "You think that's good?" Like,
Put some lime on the body.
dude, I was
Close it off.
I was so done.
But think of a ditch. A ditch is a continuous hole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to put in my own sprinkling system, and I'm not looking
I'll
forward
help
to
you.
that.
I'll bring the tractor over.
You could rent
Oh,
things.
that'd be great.
Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll get it done.
But
You
no,
just
really,
don't
I
have to rent a trailer.
I have a hole in the ground, though. As of yesterday.
Oh, okay, I get it now. We can start going on a tangent. Nice.
This is the conversation. I get it.
I'm part of this.
But now the hole's
Nice,
full
dude.
of snow.
Rock. They put gravel in
Oh,
it
you're
for
talking
now.
about your house. The whole house.
Oh, okay. I don't feel as bad
No,
anymore.
you do.
Is it full of water?
Not
No.
that I know of.
Go
I haven't
check
actually.
it.
Jenny's been
Go
out to
check it,
but-
just so you can be prepared.
right.
For real.
Oh, to see if it's gonna could possibly flood.
And if it does, if it has a standing water, and be like, I want it higher. Like I want you to raise it up and build the house a little higher. Because you don't want to be in the position I'm in, to where every night is a nightmare.
Well, it's an above ground basement anyway.
They say that. No, it is. I get it.
Yours is not. If they
It's-
told you that, they lied.
It was supposedly.
Isn't it like half
It's
above?
supposedly above grade. It's supposedly.
Supposedly?
Jeez, I was like, that sounds horrible.
Supposedly?
Supposedly.
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 It's from Friends.
It's supposedly.
Had a booger.
But make sure, just check it. Because mine was supposedly. Gosh, I can't do it.
We're getting nowhere fast, man. We're just going to roll with the punch.
I was just going to say, at this point, someone just bring us in and we'll just...
We're just going to roll with the punches. We've
Roll
got
with
no
punches.
real direction tonight,
This
my
is where I'm
friends.
in my element.
You know, I think it's been another, 5 weeks since we last podcast? 4 weeks? Baby boy is almost
Been
3
a
weeks
hot-
old, so it's got to have been 4 weeks at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 4
Yeah,
weeks is
dude.
our last podcast night. So here's our another vomlette.
Ding. I love
Vomlette.
omelets.
Ding, ding, ding. Vomlette time.
Oh, we starting?
Yeah, we're starting.
All right.
You think I put on my podcast voice just to talk to you hooligans?
Sometimes. This
All
is
right.
his podcast.
I really...
voice.
anytime you're talking, I look around for the cameras.
There's 3 of them.
Do I see red lights somewhere?
But welcome back to Five's
It's
a
like on the
Crowd.
Truman Show, where she's like, "I really like this Coco or
Oh,
whatever,"
yeah.
and he's like, "Who are you talking to?"
I haven't seen that show since I
It's
was
super
young.
good to be back, though. I've been missing you guys.
Yeah, I know,
Yes, I'm
Been
excited.
missing
right? It literally
you.
breaks my heart to know that baby boy is 3 weeks old almost. Like that is it.
Gosh, tell him to
Literally
get a
feels like
job
I've
already.
had
I was gonna ask if he had a
2
job
days
yet.
ago.
Free.
Jeez, man.
Kid needs to
Oh,
pay his way.
step up and start paying some dues already. Them
I was gonna
hospital
say
bills
Reggie
aren't
moved
cheap.
out last week.
He's a half man of the house now.
It's got more balls than me.
It's funny because it's true.
But I am surrounded by my 4 best friends: Cam,
Hey.
Chris,
Hello.
Tony,
Hello.
and Zach.
Hola.
And like I said earlier, today's just going to be another vomlet. We're just going to catch up, guys. Just go off the rails, have a good time, have a good laugh. Hopefully find some good, funny questions along the way, and hope you're here for it. So if you guys are new here, we do have a lot of podcasts that are topic centered. Like we cover a
That we focus.
multitude of topics where we actually have a primary objective, and sometimes we hit it, sometimes we hit the barn door, or maybe is it the wall?
I mean, the topic is mentioned somewhere in there.
We missed the barn.
There it is.
Like,
Sometimes the door ain't opening; it's stuck shut.
Sometimes we
And,
crash through it, like Back to the Future.
yeah.
Hey.
So
It's like a bunch of kids with ADD trying to get to a barn in a field full of things that are real shiny.
yeah. That's it.
So shiny.
See?
So if you would like something with an actual emphasis on topic, check those out.
We will get back to that organization. Life is bananas right now.
Yeah, we got a lot going on.
Are we ever organized?
Yes.
Yes.
Those are the ones you're asleep for.
Well, we were supposed to be organized. We were going to do a murder podcast. I don't know what happened there.
Tony said no.
We had 3 topics organized and ready, and
Yeah.
then the day comes, everyone's like, what are we doing? I was like,
Sounds about
I
right.
thought we had things.
I just said I wanted a funny one because it's been so long since
Yeah.
we've been together. I wanted something fun and
Yeah.
So
happy.
if
and
one disagrees,
Austin
I
mentions
gave
a-
up on the murder podcast at that
Austin mentions a topic, and then we get here, and he's like, "Oh, we're doing that one," and then so
In my defense, I said, hey, this is a really cool idea. What do you guys think? And crickets.
That means we loved it.
Silence is golden, is what that.
then you two are solid gold.
point. Yeah, exactly.
No, for real.
You two
The
are
reason I
great
don't
at
say
that.
anything is because I'm like,
Listen,
yeah, that sounds
we can
good.
all be talking, but it's like I'm talking to myself sometimes in the group chat. So I'm just like, I'm just gonna be from the
Gee,
outside
wow.
looking.
I'm glad we all don't feel that way, do we?
Nope. Yep.
My thing is, you know my personality type.
Chris wants a phone call.
That's true.
So I did come across this Ask Reddit that I thought would be kind of interesting for our own takes. It might just get a little bit of fuel and stuff rolling. This one says, what's the hardest thing for you to comprehend about American culture? And so I was like,
Language.
right? And so I thought maybe from an American's perspective, especially for those that are tuning in that are international, it'd be interesting to see the flip-flop. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
Like
Wait,
the shoe.
what?
Yeah, exactly. The flip-flop.
Formerly known as thongs.
I found out. I called the sandal that has just the flat part that goes over the top of your
Slides?
foot. Slides, I guess.
Yeah.
I called that a flip flop the other day and about got stoned to death.
Yeah, those are slides.
Really?
See?
Flip-flops are thongs
So
or Jesus sandals. Actually, no, those are more like
Jesus,
those.
The
Yeah, you have
wraparound.
the strap.
The wrap
Yeah,
around your
sandals are more
ankle.
slides.
Kind of. No.
What are the one
remember
with the Velcro
the
straps?
sandals when when we were kids, because we were all kids at the
Back
same
in
time.
the Stone Age.
It was like the rubber bottom, of course, and then it had the Velcro thing over the front of the foot,
Yeah.
kind of like a third in, and then it had the little like straps that came out and then split and went around your ankle.
Yeah. What do they
Those
call
were like
those?
sandals.
I remember the ones that it had the two straps, one that went over kind of over the top of the foot, kind of up closer to the ankle, one that went over the foot down by the toes, and then it had the strap that went down the side of your foot connecting the two, and then one across the
Yeah.
back of the heel.
Hippie
No, yeah,
shoes.
yeah, I did-
Those
yeah,
are
yeah.
hippie
Yeah,
shoes.
they're straight up hippie.
What
Yeah,
are, what are those shoes called?
those are
can't
what I
think of them.
remember as sandals.
My friends did all their hiking in those sandals.
Yeah,
I can't think of what they're called.
they're wonderful.
Sandals.
Yeah.
They're just called sandals, guys.
Sandals. Sandals.
Huh. I guess we're all wrong because it's the term sandal comes from the ancient Greek word sandalon, meaning wooden shoe.
Holland had it right.
So y'all are wrong. Holland's the only one with sandals.
I've
Those
got
are
no
clogs.
strings on me.
The oldest one in existence was found in Fort Rock Cave, Oregon. 10,000 years old.
In Oregon? Like the state?
Says Fort Rock Cave, ORE. So I don't know.
Those
Or-
are four-wheel drive
Taken out?
sandals.
That side of America has zero history, and so
Yeah.
I'm like,
I don't
Like
know what
Oregon.
the ORE is.
ORE?
Maybe
Yeah, it says Fort Rock Cave, ORE.
it was probably
It probably was Oregon.
But that's just a weird way
during
to abbreviate
the
it.
time of the woolly mammoth.
No, that's how they abbreviate it for football games and stuff.
Is it?
Yeah.
All right.
But I mean, if you think about it,
Yeah,
there's like
Oregon.
there's literally a land bridge that comes
Yeah.
about every once in a year that literally connects Russia to Alaska.
I always forget how close Russia actually is.
Oh, dude, it's super
so
close.
crazy.
Yeah.
But it's also Siberia. It's just a frozen death land.
They have cool tigers, though.
They have indigenous tribe there that eats nothing but meat, and they have the lowest heart disease out of anybody in the in the world.
I believe it.
In the city, state, country, world.
And
I'm well aware that the words don't come out as fast as I'd like.
So
to.
it's
Can
back-
you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Yeah, there we go.
So this
Backing
one's,
up, read the question one more time.
No, you're good. It's just what's the biggest, the hardest thing for you to comprehend about American culture. So one that I did come across was, and I don't know, I haven't come across it in this, but one that definitely has rung true doing our vlog was people so surprised about pharmaceutical companies being able to run advertisements in America.
Yeah.
Like you go anywhere else, you go outside of the U.S., it is illegal for pharmaceutical companies, drug companies to run advertisements on television or anywhere.
Which
Viagra
makes
commercials
sense.
don't exist, like
Not
stuff like
outside
that.
the US.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude. I mean,
it's
think about
illegal.
what you're literally advertising.
Well, then how else? I want to see two old people sitting on lounge chairs on the beach to know that I want to buy something that has nothing to do with old people on the beach.
I know, right?
Now, and here's the reasoning.
Cialis.
Think about it. Think about it. You go
a
to the
hot
doctor
tub.
for anything. They have like a list of medicines that they're going to recommend to you because they know they work. So I was watching a podcast where they were talking about this, and the guy said, he's like, if you think about it, the only reason they need to advertise it is because it doesn't work very well. And so no one's recommending it in the medical community, so they go to the consumer and try to convince you to recommend it to your doctor to get them to give it to
Get out the middleman.
Genius.
Isn't that crazy?
It's weird. It
Dang.
makes
because if a doctor knows it works, they're going to recommend it.
That's like
no
I
matter
saw
what.
that
So you
joke.
don't need to advertise it.
I saw that joke one time where it's like about like toothpaste, where they talk about like 100 dentists, blah blah blah, and it's like, and then it flashes over to a guy, and he's like, as a dentist, I have never recommended this. Like, he's like,
I want to know where they're getting these stats.
Yeah.
I always
what
see
dentist-
these stats growing up, and it's like, I have never in my life been questioned for anything.
No.
So when they say in the last
Yeah.
30 years that penis size has grown 30% or something like that, who are they questioning? They're not questioning me.
Who are they measuring? Are they doing the measuring, or are they inputting their measurements?
Yeah,
Because
right.
now it just means they're
you're,
lying.
Now you're bloating. Now you're just like, okay,
Now everyone-
it's kind of like football.
over the last
know?
30 years, 25% of people have started lying more. That's
about
what
their
it is.
size. Yeah.
$100 is $100.
You ever seen that? It was a
Hey,
what? There was like some oh man, it was some YouTuber, and he set up a hot IG model with a bunch of blind dates, and to like with their bios to see if they were telling the truth on their bios. Mm-hmm. And so one guy was like, you know, I'm 6'2", blah 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 blah. And so he shows up and he's like, he ain't 6'2". He's like, measure him. And so out of nowhere comes this guy with a tape measure. And so they're sitting down at a table having a date. And he's like, stand up. And he measures him. He's like 5'9". He's like, he's lying. 5 inches.
You're out of here.
So it's just like, I think people are maybe lying on those stats. I don't know.
it's actually hospital patients while they're unconscious. They're in there measuring. Oh,
That's why it's called a prep room.
They don't have a fluff room though.
I was just about to say they need to start calling
That's
it
a
that.
different facility.
Oh, okay.
Then they'd be bigger by 27 inches.
Oh.
27%.
I was like,
Excuse me.
27 inches.
wow.
That takes our half inch or 12 inch to shame.
We're going to have to cut his pants off.
That's a whole different hospital with all the sexy nurses. Yeah.
Accidentally cut his
Am I
leg.
in the
That's
right
not
place?
his leg.
Stuck in his ankle cuff.
It's that hospital psych ward off
Yeah.
of The Boys.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Anaconda.
Anyway. So yeah, none of that. Another one. Go ahead.
I mean, well, because no one has answered the question. But I was trying to think of how I would say that. I would just say that, like, it blows my mind how some people, like, how a lot of people are fighting against their own freedoms. I guess that's what I can say. Like, you know what I mean?
Oh,
I
yeah.
feel like lately in American culture, it's like people are begging to be controlled and censored and, like,
Yeah, it is.
you know what I
weird.
mean?
Yeah,
and it
is weird.
blows my mind.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, and maybe it's just because I've always been, because we've talked about it with like house stuff. Like it makes me so mad that someone can be like, "Oh, that your grass is too long." Well, this is not your house. This is my house.
Yeah.
My grass can be as long as I want it to be. That's the whole point of the country, freedom. So it kills me when people are so willing to give up those freedoms.
As long as it's not imposing on somebody else, yeah. Yeah.
Don't walk on my grass.
You're driving down the prices of homes and no, just,
Good.
Did you ever see
I don't
that?
want more neighbors.
What was it? There's a
I'm so
Reddit
weird about
where a guy goes out every like once a month and he fires 2 shots into the air just
Yeah.
to keep housing rates down in his neighborhood.
Dude, that's so just some blanks. Boom, boom.
Gunshots are heard.
So
Housing
smart.
pricing is.
I
That's
remember
what you gotta do. Go out to your new build and just start firing off rounds.
It's the rates that I'm after.
Do you remember that story? There was
I'm
a story.
nervous
I need
I gotta
I need another bank or two to fill.
I got a revolver. It doesn't dump shells, so you can just get out of there real
Just
quick.
go find one
You
of those
don't gotta
banks
go
that's about to
collect 'em.
crash. Borrow their money. They go under. You're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might hit the lottery.
Yeah, dude.
But so I'm sorry, I'm lost and confused on where that related to the pharmaceutical advertisements.
It was
No, it was
wasn't
the
that. It
question
was
about
about the
American.
The
Yeah.
initial question.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay. Got you.
But yeah, that pharmaceutical thing drives me crazy because they're having people think they have conditions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're taking those people that are
Susceptible.
Have to.
what's the
Hypochondriacs.
hypochondriacs. And they're like, "Do you have high blood pressure?" You know, and they like throw out these.
Like all of us do.
Do you feel warm and
You
cold
know
at
me.
times of the day?
No, it's
Yeah.
Jeff
You
Foxworthy.
may have high blood pressure.
Jeff Foxworthy when he's like, my wife falls for those all the time. She's like, oh my gosh, I have that. You don't have testicular cancer. You don't even have testiculars.
Well, and the fact that almost every single one of those will solve like one problem that you have and give you like 10 side effects.
Side effects may include
Heart attack, stroke, enlarged
What,
or
doesn't it say
decreased
like
diet.
may include but not limited to or something like that?
Performing
and some of the
activities
side
that
effects
you may or
are
may not remember.
some of the side effects are what you're taking the pills for.
Exactly.
It's like, oh, this pill helps with diarrhea. Side effects may include diarrhea.
Vomiting.
And I hate to say it too, but like the people that the actors and everything on those commercials aren't even a candidate for some of the drugs
they're
that they're
literal-
trying to portray. Like,
Yeah. They are actors.
Well, is it Friends where Joey does a thing for something
Oh,
and then finds out later
is
it's
that
for
herpes?
herpes or syphilis or something.
Oh,
like
some
yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
STD.
Yeah.
not even.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And his posters down in the subway, and he's mad because he didn't even know what he was doing it for. He
Yeah.
just was doing the modeling for it.
Well, the way they do it too is like, okay, this is a weight loss medicine or whatever, and there's some like model up there, and it's like, you don't need it. Like, what do you mean? You're
Hey, you
taking
didn't
that?
get there from using it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They found you pre-made.
premedicated. You were
Heck,
premedicated.
nowadays you were probably prompting an AI and it just generated you.
So from basically what I'm gathering here at the table, it's all synonymous that we do not like the advertisements either.
No.
Oh no,
No.
hate it.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
even
stupid.
remember.
Other than to make fun of, there's no benefit to it.
Yeah. What's the what was that reel that one of us sent where it was, I think it was like F it all or
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what it is.
Yeah.
And it
is
was
that
like
what it is?
it was
Yeah.
like a commercial.
It was like a parent for kids
No,
drug
no.
or something.
F it all is Robin Williams.
It was
That's his.
Democratica.
Oh.
It was
There's that one. Yeah, I
the
remember
one
that
you're thinking of was
The go to sleep
an
one.
effing break.
An effing
Oh,
break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need an effing break. Like, and it was like,
Yeah, that's right.
My
Oh,
favorite.
man, that
There was
so
another one
funny.
that was an infomercial, and it was basically chloroform, but they named it
Oh.
something nap
Oh,
time
yeah.
or like
Yep, nap time or
go to sleep now or
nap
something.
spray or something.
I can't
And
remember.
it's like in a squirt bottle. And
the mom does it to the kid as she's doing the laundry, and he's like sprawled on the couch, just out.
And this is where we come back to yours because I think most people in this country don't like infomercials for pharmaceuticals. So
Oh, heck
why
no.
don't we have a say in that, saying, "Hey, this shouldn't be
I
allowed"?
just don't like infomercials
Because
in general.
the pockets, deep
Yeah,
pockets.
Yeah.
Well, I think it all goes back to the medical care system here in the States.
Yeah.
Like we talked previous on another podcast, is that none of them are government ran. They're all privately owned.
Mm-hmm.
They're all privately owned businesses.
Right.
Same with all these pharmaceutical companies. And so it's just like an open heyday here when it comes to medical and practice and prescriptions.
I think the biggest, to me, the biggest slap in the face during all of like the last couple years is when you would literally watch the news. They would talk about all these people dying and that you need to go get vaccinated, all this stuff. And then they would cut to a break and it'd be like, this was brought to you by Pfizer.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Literally
hold
the
on.
company with
Hold on.
with the cure.
Like you're telling me that I need to get this, and this show was literally sponsored by the people who are selling it.
Yeah.
Like, how does nobody just go, yeah, that's a conflict of interest? Like they're paying them off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's been monopolized. You know what I mean?
It's like watching
100%.
the news and it's like beef's bad for you. You should only eat chicken. It's like this brought to you by Chick-fil-A. Yeah. Well, clearly.
Those cows made it to TV.
Right? Yeah.
Clearly those aren't connected at all.
Oh man.
Oh man.
Just sad to see people take for granted like sure. I mean, the country's not without its downfalls and its difficulties, but
Well, and I feel like everybody's rooting for that miracle weight loss pill or miracle
Well, hell yeah.
wrinkle-free cream or, different things that they want it to just suddenly work. And
That is America, okay?
That is the dream,
That
my
is
friend.
the dream. We don't want to do anything. We just want things to work.
We don't want wrinkles,
it's the American dream.
who was it that
and
shared
we don't want to get old.
Was it in our chat that someone shared the video of the old lady that was like, it's like, if you want to advertise, or it's like, if you want to sell me a wrinkle-free cream or whatever, it's like, I want to see it tested on a scrotum first. And if that gets rid of the wrinkles out of that, buy it. Like,
Those come pre-wrinkled and never go away.
That's dependent on the temperature, because sometimes they can hang down pretty
Expand a
low.
little bit.
Yeah, that looks like a chicken gizzard.
Swell.
God.
It's got to be able to expand and
That's why they call it
contract.
the gobbler. Yep.
Oh my god.
I didn't mean for it to go that way.
Smooth tongue.
I was just thinking about that, though. I was like, I'll try it.
We were talking about cream.
That'd be weird, though, to have it just be like a smooth lump on you. It would. Oh.
What if it did get more wrinkly as you got older? Like, what if at Lucas's age, it was just this smooth?
It's like a peach.
Yeah,
Yeah, just like straight up a peach.
yeah, with just the nice little tucked up in, and then as you get older, it wrinkles up, and it's like now more like a raisin,
Like a
It's like a
tree.
couple of
the
prunes.
tree, they can tell how old it is by the rings in it. You can see tell how old you are by the wrinkles in your nutsack.
Imagine.
What the hell are we doing
Could you
here?
imagine? Just
Welcome
speculate.
to Vibes the Crowd.
Okay. A kiwi.
So maybe a little TMI, but because I have half the equipment, it's always pretty high and tight.
Well, it's got to protect it.
Yeah,
It had two
the last
chances.
one.
It's like when you're playing Super Mario, you got one heart left, man. You're extra careful.
Yeah.
See,
It's like you chewed on all the fruit by the foot or whatever.
Like you've talked about in the past about sitting on them before.
100%.
I have never even come close.
That's nice.
You are
How would it be?
Ugh.
Yeah.
It's not even that. It's more of some of the times you just move right and you just go to stand up.
You roll it.
Yeah, you roll it as you stand up and you're like,
Dude,
oh.
it's the accidental pinch for me.
Uh-huh.
Oh, see, yeah,
Okay,
never
this is
never
going-
had any of that.
A little crunch. You feel
Your
the
tummy
roll.
hurt? Does your tummy hurt?
You get a little crunch with the roll.
Oh.
It's like a little pop.
Yep.
Oh my
Yep.
god.
And then you
This is a
slightly
sign
stand
for
up
you.
and you're like, no, I'm going to sit down for a second again.
Do your balls hang too low?
It's like when you go to squeeze. It's like when
Do
you go
they
to,
wobble to and fro?
Can you tie them in a knot?
It's like when you go to squeeze a grape, but it may be a little too wet and firm that it pinches out of your fingers. Like that's what it's like, where you get a little bit of a squish and then it goes boom, and then shoots out.
And rockets out.
Ask your doctor about ball pain be gone.
Shut up, take my money.
We're gonna sell it. We're gonna sell it here on the podcast. Copyrighted, trademarked.
It's just a cup and some ibuprofen.
Side effects include uneven hangage.
Unwanted swass.
Unrelated. Did you guys ever see that meme where it was the Asian girl and she had those little cherry gummies? You know what I'm talking about? It's like 2 red cherries connected by a green stem. That's a little gummy.
Okay.
And she starts slapping her forehead.
Oh yeah. I remember that.
And she goes, I should call him.
Oh no.
Oh, it cracked me up. Anyway, I just, because the pure fact that she was Asian made it so funny. Anyway.
No.
Oh gosh.
No.
I love it.
Anyway.
Oh gosh.
Sorry, you go ahead. We had a thought at the same time.
Oh.
Go,
You
Zach.
spoke.
I was going to ask a question that someone had asked, but
Go for it.
Yeah.
Do it.
unless
Like
you
on
want to
our,
go first.
on our podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah. Go for it.
This, I actually read it, this was a month ago, off of our inappropriate mind crusher. day.
Uh-oh.
Ooh.
So I actually thought this would be kind of fun to talk about. Anyways, it's from Jody Ray Victor. And she says, I'm assuming it's a she, he, they.
Is there more than one?
What's a pronoun?
What's the most embarrassing thing that happened to you at school, work, or while shopping?
Most
Yeah,
embarrassing?
what's the most embarrassing thing that's happened to you?
Mine just happened.
Really?
Really?
It was bad.
Oh,
Did you
no.
poo your
Do tell.
pants? I feel like that's
Okay, I'll
kind of the
tell it.
ultimate.
So it was snowing one morning and Lisa
it's
left
been doing
for some,
lately.
yeah, so Lisa left and I was home and I went and laid in bed for a second. I was like, okay, I'm just going to sit and watch a show. Well, I was up till like 2:00 the last night and I fell asleep and woke up and my doorbell rings. And I get up and I got an erection, a bad one, from falling asleep.
It happens.
It happens.
And I was like, nobody should be here. I was like, oh, I got a package coming. It's got to be the package. So I gave it enough time for my doorbell to go to.
Oh,
Nobody's
no.
at the phone, whatever. I go open the door to grab the package real quick. And I'm in pants, like my pajamas with no underwear on. So, I'm pitching a tent. And I open the door, and it's one of Lisa's friends coming over because they were supposed to get together to do like some girl get-together thing, but it got canceled to next week. Well, one of the friends show up, and I open the door. I'm like, ah! I shut the door in her face and leave her. And so I'm like trying to tuck. I was like, I opened the door.
You were the one expecting the package, but it looks like you gave it to her.
Anyway, so I shut the door.
Prime
in her face.
delivery.
I hurry and tuck. Anyway, anyways. So I open the door again after I tuck and throw my hoodie down and open the door. I'm like, hi, what's going on? She's like, hey, and walks into the house. I'm like, Lisa's not here. Let me go call her. I left my phone. I just leave the door open. She walks in and I take off into the bedroom. And then she's like, oh, never mind. It's next whatever day it was. And then walks out and just shuts the door. I was like, she saw. Like, she had to have seen. Oh. So I'm friends with
Not her now.
the husband. He ends up calling me like 5 minutes later, and my heart drops. I'm like, oh no. He calls to ask me about, because he's helping me pick something, to ask me some dimensions. So I was like, all paranoid about this.
How dare you have an erection in your own house?
Come on, that was weird.
It's probably not as weird as you made it up to be.
Well,
I highly doubt anyone that's at the door is immediately going.
No, I
Something's
feel
drawing
like
my attention.
I feel like the way guys are drawn to cleavage, girls just know.
I
Like
don't-
they just know.
I don't know if that's the case, but there was. I mean, he was poking.
My boner
through
sense is
with all-
tingling.
He was all something was sticking out further, and it's usually not that on me. And I just
Let's just say when he opened the door, the first thing she saw,
how are you?
it led the way around the door.
You know in Men in Black 2 how Johnny Knoxville has that like second head that comes out of his backpack and it's like kind of awkward and he's like, hey, what are you doing? Like I feel like that's how he answered
It was
the door.
embarrassing to me. Maybe she didn't notice, and maybe she,
And now she's going to know from this podcast.
No. Ask
she
Lisa
listen?
if she sent her
I hope-
a high five
oh
emoji.
shit! I shouldn't have said anything.
We'll edit this part out.
I need you to.
No,
for
I
real.
won't.
What's her name? Let's give her a shout out.
Could have been anyone. It could have been anyone.
She doesn't know we're talking about her.
She has a lot of friends, and
It was
guys
weird because
regular-
this week, like, there's 18 people that showed up at my
See,
house.
exactly.
and-
You got a boner for 17 of them.
You should feel left out if you didn't see it.
The look on your
Somebody
face.
is. Oh no, this was a bad idea.
Oh, that was great.
No, this is a great idea.
We're running with it
That
now.
was so good.
Ain't
Because
edited anything.
you know her editor doesn't really do much.
Yep.
so.
Our editor does exactly what needs to be done.
It's glorious.
I warned y'all before.
Anyways,
It's in the middle of the
okay.
stand.
I still
Anybody-
think the best part on that one is when Austin dropped the first F-bomb on here. And we're like, we should edit that out. And Cam's like, yeah, I'll get it. He just posts it anyway. And he's like,
There it is.
And I was like, you know what? I've seen enough podcasts. Nobody cares.
Oh well. Well, if they end up finding out, I'm sorry.
Sorry for being a man.
For
and
your natural
right?
I don't know.
bodily functions.
It's like, have you ever seen the movie The Proposal?
It was bad.
yeah.
Yeah.
Apologize.
Yeah, he climbs in bed with her or whatever, and she's like, oh, what is that? And he goes, it's the morning.
Dude, I popped boners in high school because I was still trying to wake up. Like,
Oh, those are worst.
You take a nap in class, and
Yes.
you wake up, and you're like,
Yeah.
ah.
You're like,
It was a
dang
bit-
it.
yeah.
The bell rings, and the
gotta
teacher's
do
like,
the-
why haven't you left yet? Give me a minute.
You got to
No.
do the weird shuffle
I love how
side
they have
grab
to
your
ask
bag
that.
thing.
Like, they can't piece two and two together. They see hundreds of students a week, and yet they can't figure out why maybe you haven't left.
Like,
right?
why are all the guys that fell asleep in class still here?
Anyway.
they should just be given a thing. It's like, if you're going to teach first period, FYI.
It should be two bells. First bell for the women, second bell for the men.
No, a warning bell for the men.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, they
It's
Warning
like
bell.
it goes off 10 minutes before class is actually out, so the guys can wake up and start,
Move the blood to different parts of the body.
I've heard that if you need to get rid of one, you can flex your legs. Like get you like really tense up and flex your legs and
Here, let's try it.
You Kegel?
got one?
So anyway, yeah,
That's funny.
it was horrible.
Well, it's kind of funny because lately I've heard a lot that there's like a joke in like the girl world that the gray sweats for guys is hot because it shapes the package more. And so like how like when it's cold season, they tease that it's like, oh, it's gray sweat season, and because it helps a guy's package. And so were your sweats gray?
They probably might have been.
See.
No, I told them.
I'm
No,
telling
they
ya.
were green. They were olive green.
Just look at Lisa's phone, see if she got a high five emoji, and you'll know for sure.
Or one of these.
That's what it would be.
It's the Italian hand, but you know what it's me.
I wasn't hydrated. Okay.
Or eggplant.
It affects it.
Look out for eggplants.
I've got a story, but it wasn't my experience, but I was there to witness it. So this was
Forgot what the question was, so thank you.
yeah, you're good.
Embarrassing.
So I was. This was back in the heyday of me working in electronics at Walmart, and
You worked at Walmart?
yeah,
Yeah,
dude,
dude.
I'm sorry.
I actually really enjoyed
Bro, it was like, what,
That's got to be
2000 something?
Yeah.
Early 2000s?
Yeah, I went from, gosh, I can't remember the order, but anyway, it was really good paying. I enjoyed it. I got to be around CDs and video games all day.
All right.
I didn't care.
CDs.
Back when they were okay.
They're a thing that.
Yeah, they're these shiny things that played music.
Yeah.
So while I was there, I went to the bathroom and I was in the toilet, and so I'm sitting there going to the restroom, and all of a sudden I just hear this door just boom, and like this guy comes, oh god, and he's like, and he's like making all these sounds as he's like running over, and and there's a reason I didn't go in this one stall, because this one stall was kind of obliterated already.
No.
And I was in the handicap stall, which thank God he wasn't handicapped. And that's one of my biggest fears, is being in there and then seeing a wheelchair roll.
Okay, that's valid. That's valid.
That is one of my biggest fears. But I was only in there because the stall was obliterated already. So
Spackled.
He checks it. He's like, oh no. And he goes over and he like shakes the handicap stall. And I'm like, I'm sorry, man. I'm in.
Sorry, bud.
He's like, and so he goes over to the other stall, and you can hear him. He's like trying to he's finagling with his buckle and his pants, and he's trying to get it all down fast enough, and he lets out this gigantic rip. And I am not kidding you. Spackle hits the floor. And it hits it next to my shoe. It doesn't hit my shoe, but it literally, it exploded all over everything. And all I hear is silence, and then him go, oh, shit.
God.
And I was just sitting there flabbergasted, I have never, ever seen anything like this. I don't know what he ate.
Your boy just exercised a demon.
Right? And so I was sitting there what do I'm like, I gotta help him. So I hurry and, wipe and everything. I'm like, all right, man, I know stuff went down. What can I get you? And I'm like, do you need a pair of pants? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, socks? He's like, yeah. I'm like, do you need shoes? He's like, yeah. I'm like, all right, tell me your sizes. So I go out, I get him all the clothes that he needs, and I bring in a bag, and I'm like, put everything in the bag, put on these new clothes. Handicap stalls open, let me know when you're done. I'll have the janitors come in and clean up. I'll let you leave. I won't see your face. Have at it.
We will never meet.
I don't want to see you. You don't ever want to see me. We're good. And I left him at that. And so I hope
you were a guardian angel there.
Oh my gosh.
I hope that I made his day, because man, that was a trip.
He will tell. He probably tells
Yeah.
his grandchildren that story.
Yeah, I felt so bad, man.
This man saved my dignity.
Gabriel came down from the high and endowed me.
So, this isn't my most embarrassing story, but I'm telling you right now, that happens.
No way. Was that you?
He's like, I've been trying to find you.
Zach's over here he's like, coincidentally, that happened to me, and this guy threw me a bag of clothes.
Threw me a bag of clothes. And
It was at Target, though.
No. It was
Let's
this
hear it.
2-3 weeks ago. I was at Walmart doing a delivery. And I was in the back, and I was pulling my order, and out of nowhere, dude, it hit me.
Really?
It hit me hard. And I was like, and you're doing that thing where I was trying to pace to see if it would just kind of back up and go away. It wasn't going anywhere. And I knew I had to make a decision at that point. It was either, because by the time I would have, by the time I could have rolled around the building and gotten into a bathroom, it would have been too late. So it was either make a decision, and it was either just go in my pants and make that ride home and tell my boss what happened, or lean up against my truck.
No way.
And I had to lean up against my truck. I made it within seconds.
Really?
Dude, I tell you right.
Outside?
Yeah.
In a public space?
Yep. Oh, I guarantee you there were people who saw my butt hanging out.
Dude, you
Really?
I can't.
This was at Walmart? That's another day. That's just that happens daily.
It was in their receiving parking lot.
The pit
Wow.
of despair.
Good thing there was snow that helped me clean up a little bit. I had some tissues in my car or in my truck.
Dude, I would have went full bore and just started wiping my ass on the concrete floor with my hands.
Just like a dog.
I'm telling you though, like it happens. Like I had no other choice. And it's like, it just reminded me of that guy. Like that guy, I'm glad he made it at least to the bathroom, but
Yeah.
I had a close one like that, but I was able to make it. But it was when I worked at Smith's, and I've probably told this story before.
Oh, was that when you were in the fuel center?
I
Yeah,
don't know if
so
I've heard this.
You've told me.
So Smith's, you know how they have their, like at the end of their parking lot, they have the fuel center, the little glass box up there. Well, I was working there, and all of a sudden it hit me like that. So I called down to my manager, and I'm like, I need a bathroom break. And she's like, okay, yeah, I'll be up in just a sec. And in the meantime, it's just the pressure's building. I'm sweating.
Yeah, you're sweating bullets.
I was sweating bullets, and man, I could have made a diamond out of, like, I was pinched so hard, still trying to help people, but I'm like shaking because I'm just like, oh my gosh, and I'm like sweating.
The poop
it was
sweats.
so bad. And then to top it all off, so my manager gets up there. I now have to make the trek across the parking lot and into the store. I'm walking like I got a stick
It's
up my butt.
like a football field's distance. Isn't
Yeah.
it?
Oh man, I'm shocked I didn't even have a single skid mark because I was walking and I could just feel it right there. And then same thing like your guy in the story, I couldn't get my belt and stuff off fast enough. Oh my heck. And it was funny because then I want to say I told my sister because she worked there too. She wasn't working that night, but she worked there too. And I want to say I told her the story, and then she, of course, passed it on to the manager. And so, like, very subtly, my manager, the next time, she was like, you know, you don't have to wait for me to go to the bathroom. Like, she's like, if you need to put a sign up in the window saying, like, back in 5 minutes or something, she's like, that's okay. And I'm like, okay. Like, we were on the same wavelength. She didn't have to say it out loud, but I was like, all right. But
Oh goodness.
there was a time though, it was at another job when I worked loading fuel, and we had to duck under rail cars and do different things, working out on the train cars. And my stomach was kind of mad at me, kind of wasn't. Like, I could tell it wanted to do something, but I was like, I've still got control over this, until I squatted to like duck under the rail car, and it was like, it's like, that's not alone.
A little brothy.
Sent out a scout.
Yeah. Yep. I'm like, son of a gun. So I go back. I make the trek. And again, bathroom's so far away again. So I make the trek to the bathroom. Sure enough, there was some...
You ink blotted.
I did. Yeah. I'm like, gosh, dang it. So luckily it was just in the underwear. So I took off the underwear, put my pants back on, and then we wear like this fire retardant overall thing. So that kind of helped cover things up too. But it's like, whoa.
Coveralls.
Coveralls. Yeah. But
Yeah.
What are you gritting
called
your,
the
your
dignity
lips
keeper.
for?
you got another one?
Huh?
I got one of those stories.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, yeah.
All right. Who wants to go first?
Either way. So it was for my birthday. Lisa planned to take me to, what is that, Black Island Farms.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And I was not feeling good. And I said, Lisa, I'm not feeling good. She's like, we're going for your birthday. I already got it planned. Everybody's meeting us there. I'm like, Lisa, I am not feeling good. She's like, can you just tough it out and make it work? I was like, okay, I'll try. We get down the road, and we're going down that long road to head to Black Island.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, Lisa, pull over. She's like, for real? I was like, now. Like, so she pulls over, and there's a whole line of cars behind us going out there. And it's everybody that was coming with us and everybody else. And I had to pull over to the side, and I just right on the side of the highway. I didn't even make it to the dirt. It was right on the...
It was on the pavement?
It was on the pavement, dude.
Oh, my gosh.
And I just pulled down and... it just... She's like, are you okay? I'm like, I need more
Like,
socks.
don't talk to me. Oh, no.
My socks were gone. I need more socks. So I end up taking both of her socks.
Oh my gosh.
And then we get down the road and we keep going. And I'm like, pull over again. She's like, for real? I was like, now. And pulled over again.
No.
We had to take Alden's socks.
Are you kidding me?
He was so pissed.
Those are my favorite socks, Dad.
He was so pissed. Wonders.
Those are my Grogu socks.
Tell you when you're older, kid.
Yep.
That's hilarious.
It was bad. And I mean, I'm squatted looking forward, so everybody's seen my glory too, as they're just driving by.
Dude.
Brights on, seeing the light hit, and then go past me. Light hit, go past me.
I'm glad I'm
Looked
not
like
alone
a,
in that story.
Looked like a can of
Really?
Hormel chili on the side of the road.
You had a side of the road.
no, that
Oh,
like
it's-
with mine at my Red Bull truck.
Oh.
Like I'm glad that
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
it happens, man. Like
there was no stopping it.
exactly,
Like, it hits a
that's
point
how it
of-
was with me.
A point of no return.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's those scary poops where like all you can do is like try to clench and stop it.
Like if
Because when you let go, it just comes out.
Exactly.
You have to push no effort into it.
Yep.
You're just opening the door.
Dude,
and-
you're clenching so tight that if a fart were to come out, it would whistle. Like it's
Have you ever had it to where you're sure it's made it past the hole, but your cheeks are like the final barricade still?
See, I always
holding it
picture.
in?
You know what I'm
I see what
saying?
you're saying.
I always picture it's like when they're seizing a castle, and it's the doors sieging, and the doors are bowed in. Like I feel like your BH is like sprung out.
You got the battering ram, and the door's just like every hit is like breaking.
Trying to eat it back up.
You got your sphincters in the back, like,
Hold!
Kill the beast.
Hold!
Kill the beast.
Hold! Yeah.
Oh, and if you don't practice those kegels, there's no hope.
See, my kegels are like Aragorn and Gimli. Jumping
only
down
two
there
holding
like,
the door.
how much time do you need? They jump down there. Buy me some time.
don't tell the elf.
You're gonna have to toss me.
So good.
I'll tell you this one, and then I'll tell you my most embarrassing story that I had. So, I was at work when I worked at Macy's Grocery, and I was the frozen manager, and I was out there throwing some ice cream. And you ever, have an upset stomach, diarrhea, all that stuff, and then all of a sudden you just kind of forget. And then you gotta let one go, and so you let one go, and then you're like, crap.
Literally.
So I did that in the middle of the aisle, and I was like, oh. So I'm like squishing it and trying to get to a bathroom as quick as I can. So I go into the back room, get into the bathroom, and I realize it was a mess. And so I had to.
It's like when your newborn eats chocolate for the first time.
Well, I had to take off my underwear, wad it up, all that stuff. And then I walked out to the receiver, who was a good buddy of mine. I'm like, dude, I need you to do me a favor. And he's like, what? And I was like, I need you to get my car, pull it around back. And he goes, what's going on? And I told him, and he was like, are you kidding me right now? I was like, nope. And I was like, and then I need you to go talk to Steve, the manager, and let him know that I'm going home for the day.
Wow.
And he was like, can I tell him why? And I was like, you have to, or else he's not going to believe anything else. So yeah, he pulled the car around, and he's like, hey man, I left some newspaper on your seat. He's like, so you can sit down.
Hey, you
I
ain't
went
cool
home.
unless you poop
Just
your
pay it,
pants.
Dude, I go home, and then the next day I come to work, and everybody's like, how you feeling? And I was like, does everybody know? And my buddy looks at me and goes, yeah, everybody knows.
Of course.
Well, now everybody
knows.
That's funny, man.
There's that children's book called Everybody Poops. Like, I really think it needs to emphasize that it's like everybody has blowouts too.
They do.
Everybody
It
poops
happens.
at inconvenient times.
Yes.
My daughter, Paige, loves that song. Everybody
There's a
Poops.
song to it?
Oh, yeah.
I haven't heard
and
the song.
Paige loves it. It's her favorite. It's actually got a really super catchy beat, but you hear the lyrics and you're like, that's kind of gross.
Interesting.
Yeah. Anyway.
That's weird.
No, my most embarrassing moment was actually in high school. I was in seminary class, and I fell asleep. And I had no clue what happened until afterwards. My buddy had told me, but I guess I was out. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, like you just heard this big old rip. Just a like just loud. You know how it rumbles against that plastic seat and everything? So towards the end of class starts coming, I wake up and literally there was like this hot cheerleader who was sitting behind me.
Oh no!
I had noticed she had moved to a different seat, and then the couple people around me, they had moved to a different seat, and I woke up and I was kind of whatever, you know. And teacher looks at me and he goes, "How you feeling, man?" And I'm like, "I'm good." And he's like, "Yeah, I noticed you fell asleep." And I'm like, "Yeah, sorry about that. It's been a long day." And he goes, "I can tell. It's all right."
Oh my god.
And I had no clue what's going on. We get out of class and my buddy comes up to me and he goes, "Hey man, I just want you to know, dude, you ripped one." And I was like, "What?" And he's like, "Dude, it was loud. Everybody heard it." And he was like, "The best part was is as soon as you did it, the cheerleader behind you got up and goes, 'Oh my goodness,' and gets over and walks to another seat." I was like, "Oh, you got to be kidding me."
No.
Needless to say, seminary class the next time I might have skipped. I did not go that time. I was like, I can't face the music at that point.
At least of all the classes that had to happen in, it was seminary. I mean, you know.
Had an echo.
It would have been better if the teacher was like, "Thus saith the Lord."
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
one of those.
funny.
That's one of those high school blemishes where we're all in high school trying to figure everything out, and that's the last thing you want to do is rip one in front of everybody.
yeah.
The stuff that
Right, dude.
devastates you.
I mean, we all act like we don't all do it on a
Right?
daily basis.
Exactly.
Yeah.
nobody knows.
You know what though? I don't really remember farting all that much in high school. I really don't.
Oh, dude,
Man.
I got really good at the silent fart.
I know. I don't
real
don't
good at
remember.
it.
I just don't remember ever doing it.
It's a control.
Like, I know I had
it was
to
a
have,
controlled
but I don't remember
release.
doing it.
You're lucky. There were times where I was on dates, and it'd get to a point where you're like
Yeah,
sweating.
bubble gut. Big-
Yeah, you're like sweating because it hurts, and then you got to look at her and be like, "I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick or something." You got to walk away so you can just let them go, all right? Because it's just hurting.
Because it's like they don't, otherwise they just, I don't know. It's like they have a vengeance. They're like, normally I'd just go away, but not this time.
Yep.
Just sits there and like recycles itself in and out of your stomach.
It does.
Bloop, and you feel it every move. You're like, why?
You're like, "I'm not letting you out." It's like, and so then it gives up for a sec, and you can see, all right,
go.
all right, and then it comes back. It's like,
It's straight up, and it feels like your organs are switching places. They're like, move over. It's just rearranging stuff in there. You're like, ugh.
It's funny because you and I both wore the pregnancy bellies the other day, but I wore it for a full day for the vlog. And I remember having so much pain and just being like, I am never complaining about gas bubbles ever again. And that didn't last very long. Because, like, I get really bad pains.
Dude,
And I just, like, they'll legit, like, I'll be on the bed just like,
dude, I've
writhing in pain.
Yeah.
And, dude, they hurt so bad.
I've had
with
them wake
ya.
me up from a dead sleep.
Yeah.
Like painful. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like it hurts so bad. And I'll go sit on the toilet.
Yep.
And like bubble it out for a bit. But then like have to sit there to make sure it doesn't come back and then try to get back in bed and fall asleep and then wake up again. Feels like someone's just rearranging your guts.
Yeah.
Did it happen in your? Has it always been a thing? Because
Yeah.
it was like when I was hit my 30s. Like all of a sudden I'm like, I don't feel good. I don't. And Lisa's like, "Are you sure it's not gas?" I was like, "No, my stomach's really pissed off." And she's like, "I think it's gas." I was explaining.
They're
to her
like
what
gas
it is.
cramps.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so she gave me like a gas X or something. And
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like, and it helped, and it went away. I was like, oh. I was like, that's what that feels like? That is horrible.
It's
I had
horrible.
it.
Yeah.
See, now that you mention, I had it happen one time when I was in high school, and I remember I had early morning seminary, so I was up really early. But so I get to school usually like almost 40 minutes early.
Is this when you lived in Colorado?
And I just remember sitting in the hallway to like my health class, waiting for the teacher to get there. And I was in so much pain, dude. I was like in the fetal position because it hurt so bad. And I could not figure out what it was. but it was just straight up like gas cramps, and it. Oh my gosh! Sweating, in pain, all this stuff. So then later, that was kind of the only time it happened when I was younger. Then later, as I got older, I would randomly wake up at night and be like, "Oh, I want to die."
Yeah.
I'm like, I remember this feeling.
I had my first
You know,
experience.
I say this kind of jokefully, but partly kind of serious. I feel like my stomach has never been the same since the one chip challenge. That chip messed me up,
Bro.
And rearrange your
body-
molecules
I
or
knew
what?
exactly what you were going to say before you said it.
man.
I feel the exact same way.
Like certain foods now mess me up. Like I used to be practically a garbage disposal. Like I could have all kinds of
Yeah.
mixtures and junk and be like just fine. Now, man, like in fact, it wasn't even a week ago. I think I couldn't leave the toilet, and it was just, and sadly, like I don't know, it just sucks.
Yeah,
like
I remember. So we did the Packy chip the very first time. My stomach up to that point was pretty like bulletproof.
Yeah.
Like I could go to Buffalo Wild Wings, eat mango habanero, like enjoy hot.
yeah.
And that was like a breaking point for me. Legitimately, since that day, I've been on a downhill trend for
Yeah,
what my
man.
stomach can handle heat wise.
Yep.
Because we did the first Packy chip, and legit it affected me for over 24 hours. I remember the very next day I was in the gym, still just like in pain. I'm like, this
And yet
sucks.
you did it again.
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
It's like pregnancy. After a certain amount of time, they forget that it
Yeah,
sucked.
you forget how bad.
No.
it
Oh, I will
again.
not forget how
I'm
bad
never
that
doing that
sucked.
chip again.
No.
Yeah, we're not gonna do that one. We're gonna do a newer one.
Yeah,
No,
another
worse
one.
one.
It's supposed to be worse.
Yeah. But it's so
You guys are on your own.
You have to get a new stomach afterwards.
yeah.
And they pay for it.
Do you suffer from?
But yeah, dude, ever since that day, same as you, man. Legit, like my stomach does not handle hot anymore. Like
I can still
So-
do heat.
So to kind of change gears, jump back a little bit. Does anybody have embarrassing stories that does not have to do with fecal matter?
I mean, is there anything else that's embarrassing?
we did talk
I
about
got
poop and
depan-
farts there for a long
we did.
while.
Yeah.
I got depantsed.
When?
Like
recently?
junior high in the gym where you get on your gym shorts and everything.
Like
Yeah.
balls out?
Oh yeah, they pulled everything.
Ugh.
And there's
In front
a
of the girls?
Like I was standing.
girls
there,
depantsed you?
There's a no a guy did.
Oh.
But there's a girl
Good.
sitting right here, and I was like looking around, and she was eye level.
That's when you
and then
wink
they-
at her,
Was
dude.
she
You're just
impressed?
No, she went and told everybody that I had a little wiener, and so I got made fun of for weeks.
she missed that
And
health
that's when
class
you
where
pulled a George
7th grade.
Costanza.
It was like 7th grade. Yeah.
nobody told her about the growth.
That
What happens in the morning.
Yeah, that's not the same. That's not the same.
It's probably
wiener.
the first time she's seen a flaccid one. Like it's one of those. It's different.
What do you always say, Chris? It's like a grub and a
Grubbing a turtleneck.
Grubbing a
sweater.
turtleneck.
yeah.
Sometimes
You know what's funny?
look like a reverse traffic cone. It's just
They call that a re-knob.
thicker at the tip.
That took a while to click, and now it clicked. You know,
Oh gosh.
yeah, never mind. I won't go there.
Oh man.
I think I had one. It was in elementary school. It was like one of my first time using a urinal, and I dropped my pants to my ankles because I didn't know any better. And then kids walked in, saw my bare bum right there, started laughing, and
So much easier that way, though.
like, man. And
Like-
then the crappy thing is then on top of that, then when I had to go number 2, then I think we talked about this. They would jump and look over the stalls. and
Oh
laugh
yeah,
at you. And,
kids were little freaks, man.
like once I figured out the proper way to use a urinal, then I was good that way. But I never pooped. Like that scarred me until I was probably in my late 20s, and then I started getting comfortable enough to actually go in public again.
I remember when I went in like elementary, junior high, high school, if I had to do that and keep people walked into the bathroom, I'd be as quiet as I could, and I would lift my legs straight up. So that way, if like people were looking under, you wouldn't be able to see anything.
Did you? That brings me back to your very
Like-
first question. Why don't we have like fully walled toilets.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
You know, so
Extra.
I'm at my new branch now, and in that grocery store,
Oh, it's amazing. Their bathroom?
yeah,
Yeah.
you've been in it,
Yeah. I
yeah,
used to
it's a
service that
legitimate.
store.
The stall is like its own room, like
Yeah.
it's got a full
how
door.
it
You
should
close
be.
and lock, and you're by yourself.
So here's a funny story there.
Okay.
So one of the guys, no, this was you. You got stuck. Never mind.
Yep,
you
it
told
was
that
me.
before. Yeah, you got stuck in one of them.
See,
Had
and it
to
wasn't
call
even
the store.
embarrassing. I thought it was
Yeah,
hilarious.
I had to call the store. I'm
When I
stuck
got-
in your bathroom stall.
Yep. I got locked in Harmon's bathroom
Another
for like
thing,
half an hour.
Yeah.
with the urinals, so they have one of those
that's
nice.
not any longer than normal.
It's true.
They have one of those nice urinal pads that goes up the back of it. And so you can pee at the back of it, but
yeah.
it's got the bristles. And
No
so your
splash.
pee just kind of falls right down. It's like, why hasn't that been a thing? And why isn't it more popular?
Yep. No
Like,
splash.
that should be
bag.
everywhere.
That's the thing though. When there's a fully closed stall, I go pants to ankle every time I got to pee. It's great.
Really?
Yeah. Just
I will-
relax.
I'll use a urinal.
That's a lot of work.
That's if I'm by myself. Butt cheeks to the wind.
It's a lot of work.
No, not at all.
I'm in and out, man.
I only use the stall if I have to poop.
I unzip my zipper
Well,
and
I
pull
mean, where I
Thank
work,
you.
we don't have urinals.
through the
anymore.
Venus fly trap.
You don't have
That's where that
urinals
name came
anymore?
from.
Are you kidding me?
Is it because of the
They're
whole?
4 full stalls, and yes,
So freaking dumb,
Do you-
man.
Oh my gosh.
they're basically like 4 rooms, 2 really big ones, handicap stalls, and then 2 smaller ones.
It's like, what if I identify as a male that wants to stand and pee at a freaking urinal?
Here's the funniest thing: is when that change was made, one of the first things they talked about for like 2 weeks was telling all the men that we had to make sure we put the toilet seat down.
No way.
Oh my gosh. I would literally leave it up every time.
I would too.
Just
Out
out of
of
retaliation.
Yep.
Good.
Every time.
Oh my gosh. That infuriates me. Just
Right? Because it's like,
hearing that.
no. You don't get it both ways.
You took over our bathroom.
You didn't have to deal with this. Now you do.
Jeez.
Yikes.
Every time.
Dang, that's rough.
You got any more other fan questions? You got it pulled up still?
Oh,
I didn't even think about checking those, so that's kind of fun.
I don't think I do. Wait, hold on though. We haven't heard your two.
I can't find
We haven't heard embarrassing stories
I
from
don't-
you two.
I don't get
I
embarrassed.
told mine.
Oh yeah, that's.
but I
right.
mean, it wasn't like me
not your-
directly.
yeah.
I guess the closest thing to my embarrassing story would be not too long ago, I didn't lock the door to one of those stalls, and the janitor walked in on me. I thought it was funny because he walked in, and I was just like, "Oh, hey!" I'm like sitting on the toilet. I'm like, "Hey!"
Was it
And
mid push?
I feel he was more embarrassed by the event because he was like, "Whoa!" Like shut the door and backed up, and I was like, "Oh man."
That's usually.
I would have been
Scarred
like,
him for life.
I would have been like, you made me pinch early as he's going out the
It's
door.
like I always say. It's like, if you get a kitchen eye full of this, it's on you. I don't
What would
care.
have been
That's
funny
awesome.
if you were one of those type of poopers that has to take off all their clothes to poop?
Bro,
Just sitting there fully naked, just pooping. Hey,
I will say I'm like halfway there. I'm halfway there.
really?
Only here at the house though, because we got one of those squatty potties,
Okay.
and my pants, like I
Get in
can't.
the way.
Yeah, so I got to take off my pants in order to use a squatty potty.
Gosh, that's a lot. Of
So I'm
work.
like,
That is
What
a
if you
lot
could
of
just
work.
develop some pants, have a zipper from like back to front, and you could
It
just
zips
and it comes
zips
apart.
into 2 pieces.
Yeah, and then you do it, and then you just zip right back
that sounds
together.
like a problem.
That sounds
here.
like a kink, beginning of a kink is what
It
that
does.
is.
Yeah.
That sounds
It
like
probably
an
just-
accident
That sounds
waiting
like
to happen.
chaps.
It's probably made of latex though.
That sounds like a something about Mary is going to happen.
Yeah, that's exactly
funny.
what I was getting at. Yeah,
Yeah.
sounds problematic. I think I've shared my most embarrassing story before. Mine was that junior prom at the junior high. Where
Oh,
I
yeah, where you
had
barf
gotten-
all over.
Yeah, I had gotten in the fight
Oh yeah.
like the day of. Had this date with this beautiful girl that I had a big crush on, but I had a nice moonshiner to accent my fabulous tie. And so I had swallowed a lot of blood that day. Stomach was, I had dealt with some adrenaline from the fight, and then it was going to this dance. And so,
Nerves.
yeah, nerves, everything. And so we're sitting there dancing, and that song came on. Not Gabriel Iglesias.
I can be your hero,
yeah, that song.
baby.
What's
Enrique.
Enrique Iglesias.
Different church.
And yeah, so we're all close and tight, and it's her favorite song. We're having a great time. I'm surprised she's there with me with a black eye. And all of a sudden, just an urge comes over me, and I am going to vomit. And so I just, in the middle of the song, I'm like, I'm sorry, and I just bolt. Like no explanation, no nothing. I just literally leave her in her favorite song, and I go bursting out the gymnasium doors, running down to where I think is the closest bathroom, and I'm sprinting down this hallway, and I can feel the vomit coming up, and I get to the door, and as I'm running down the hallway, little bits of vomit is coming up. I get to the door, and the door is locked. And so I have nowhere else to go, so I'm running back out I'm running outside as fast as I can, and I'm vomiting the whole way. Like there's like a trail of vomit. Gosh. By the time I get outside, it's cold and it's helping my stomach feel better, but there's vomit all over my shoes.
It almost would have been better just to stay in one spot.
Just do it in the corner.
Right, right.
Vomit on your
They'll
shoes.
deal with it in the morning.
Mom's spaghetti.
Mom's spaghetti. I was nervous. And so after I started feeling better, I walked back in and just said, I'm sorry, I'm going to go home now.
Gosh, man.
And I just left her at the dance, and I was super bummed, super embarrassed, and that sucked. I was so looking forward to that day for like weeks. Anyway, that sucked. That was my most embarrassing moment.
Yeah. That sucks.
Cam got seen by a janitor. Chris got
I think
a
it's
boner 2 days ago.
It wasn't 2 days ago. I will not distinguich the date
this morning.
to further my incrimination.
Let's see. Today's March. No.
So funny.
Gosh, and I know it was on me that I was more embarrassed than I should have been on that, but I was still, that's embarrassing.
Eh.
I feel like after high school and stuff,
Have you ever?
I just don't even care anymore. Like crap happens.
You're
And
at
it's like-
work just...
That's an
It's
intimate
like, man,
organ.
Like I think I got to this point where I'm like, well, it just happened. I can't do anything about the fact that it just happened.
Yeah.
So I'll just move on.
I've had
Like whatever.
I had a situation one time that I got embarrassed in the situation, and then I was even more embarrassed of my embarrassment.
That's kind of where I'm at.
You know?
I
'Cause
feel
I
like,
made it
I feel
more
like
weird.
that was him with the farting in class. Like, I feel like had you shown up the very next time, it wouldn't have been as bad. But because you didn't show up, everyone in the class was like, we know why he didn't show up.
Yeah.
You walk in, you look that cheerleader square in the face, and you go like, "Don't worry, you can sit behind me today. You're safe." And then you pop a gas X right in front of her, straight out of the box.
No, even better, it needs to be out of one of the pop things where you like pop it out.
I got you.
That's a valid point because I think I was more embarrassed of how I acted than the actual
Yeah.
situation. Because I like shut the door in her face and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like shut the door in her face. Hi.
Oh my
And
god.
then come back. Oh, hello. Sorry, I thought you were the delivery guy. That's what I tell her. She's like, what? I'm like, what the hell are you talking about?
Why he makes it
why
worse? He's
would
like,
you-
"Oh, sorry, I thought you were bringing me a package. I mean, I don't know. Let's not talk about packages."
Thought you were delivery. She's like, dumb.
Prime shipping, 2-day air.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So good.
That was fun.
So how you had mentioned that you take your pants off when you go to
yeah.
the bathroom.
Yeah.
So I knew a guy back on my mission who, whenever he went poop, like
Yeah.
I kid you not, like you'd be in the middle of doing something, all of a sudden he'd be like, "Oh, we got to go back to the apartment." He would go, he would strip down to nothing, and then he'd have to get in the shower afterwards.
What?
Really? He'd have to
I feel like I knew a kid like that too.
shower after. Jesus.
Every time.
Really?
Every time. Yep, he would just go in and yep, he would start.
I mean-
as he's walking in, he'd start doing his tie, unbuttoning his shirt, and he goes into the bathroom.
This is
and
like
then
a
he's
45-minute process?
Yep, and the next thing you know, the water turns on, and he's got a shower afterwards.
Like if that was going to be my routine, then I would just make sure that that was my shower for the day. Like, because I naturally probably poo about once a day.
The poop shower.
And I would just call it that. I'd be like, all right, I'm not going to shower in the morning because it's going to come later, and that's when I'll shower.
Yep.
Like,
Thus, the bidet is the way.
Oh yeah.
I really need to. I saw one at Costco the other day that was like $300.
Is it the full toilet seat?
It massages
Yeah.
your butt cheeks.
I'm actually
No, I was going to say,
actually
put it
looking
past it.
into one of those. Amazon has one right now. It's like just under $100 or whatever.
What?
But it's the actual toilet
Yeah.
seat, and the knobs are on the side. And I was like, "This is fantastic!"
It's upstairs.
Really?
Yeah.
I want the
That's what I
portable
want.
seat
Full
What
one.
does
toilet
it
seat.
do above and beyond
Well,
just the regular
it's
spritz?
Built into the seat.
The nice thing is, so the other one adds like a quarter of an inch to where your toilet sits.
Yeah.
So if you don't have risers on the front of your toilet like the seat slightly sits at an
Oh,
angle,
okay,
which is
okay.
kind of weird. But
It's also trying
Cleaning
to clean
it sucks.
yeah,
you
cleaning
have to
it
tear it all
is
apart to
so,
clean.
Yeah, it's not fun.
Okay.
Yeah. So
this
ours,
way, it's a lot
built in.
easier.
Mine was like $90.
Yeah.
upstairs.
Yeah,
Where
it's
did
about-
you
yeah.
find the only one I could find was like the $300 one.
No, they
Amazon,
have it. Yeah,
man.
I have it in my cart
Well,
right now.
freaking
because
heck.
I've been debating whether I was going to get it.
Hey,
or not.
you need
See,
a
now-
bidet. Check out the link in the description below.
Well, now I'm really curious what the Costco one offered.
that's
that
the
made
one
it,
I got.
It might have an air dryer in it.
That's
up.
that's the exact one I have upstairs.
Look at that, 4.5 stars from 4,500 people.
Yep.
It's catching on, friends.
$89.
Yeah.
So,
31% off.
Yeah, I want to know what the $300 one has over the $90 one then.
Hot
Wait, there's
water.
an
Hot water,
S101.
heated seat.
I don't need hot water.
There's
Just-
one of them I
I'd
saw
like
had
a
blow-
dryer.
Yeah, there was one I saw had a blow dryer to it.
Oh, I'm glad you said
But-
dryer.
But see, you gotta have electrical or hot water plumbing.
Right.
This
So-
one comes with a happy ending.
You gotta
Yeah,
plug it
that
in.
was. I looked.
That
at
one's
the,
$500.
I looked at the one with the heated onto it. You have
my
to like hook it
goodness.
to a hot
There's a
water
premium
hookup.
edition. You have to pay for your membership every month.
Yeah, that one's awesome because it's also slow closing.
Babe, I got to use
Yes,
that.
yeah, it's
That
yeah,
was my next question.
Yep, it's slow closing as well. Yep.
Yeah, the name of it's something like something Braun because every time
Brondell.
That's
what you have up there. Yeah.
and so every time I use it, I always think of like LeBron Dell. I'm going on LeBron Dell.
Where's it at upstairs?
master bathroom.
Dang it.
It's
Excuse
great.
me, Jess. I got to poop.
Yep. Well, I was
got-
gonna.
it's
I
got
was
the
gonna
front
go
and the
look
back
at
one.
it, but
Yeah, it's got the front and the back one. It's pretty great.
Because you have the hot water then, yeah?
No,
no, that one's extra. They have one with the hot water, and it's 125.
We're all shopping on the podcast now.
I don't want. I hate that
Is
the
it
thing won't let me.
ivory or?
This is 100% vomlette.
That is, we did specify that would happen.
Do I need ivory or manila?
Do you guys truly enjoy this? Like, us just bantering? I'm really curious. I
They
want to
wouldn't
know.
be here if they didn't.
this is literally a poop show. We have literally talked poop for about an hour now.
True.
I tried to get us off of it.
Didn't you
Well,
start?
I'll get us
No,
off right now
No,
before
it
we
was
call
not
it.
me.
Cam,
Whoa,
you
we're
have
getting off right
something.
now. All right.
Yep.
No, actually, I thought maybe I could use mine for almost a whole podcast.
Oh, okay.
So we'll just skip it for
Then
now.
we're not coming to that.
Now we just need to
What
buy.
just happened?
We're just all buying bidets. Bidet is the
You know,
way.
going into my new house. Oh, by the way, just some fun news. We officially have a hole dug for our foundation, so it's coming along. I'm excited.
Yeah.
See, it helps when he gives a whole sentence around.
Right?
For them,
Dug
I
a hole.
thought-
We dug a hole.
I got a hole, guys. We're like,
I got a hole dug.
Hey, if you want to, if you want to get rid of any bodies, now's the time to
Now
do
is the time.
when the foundation is just poured.
Yep.
it. Yeah. So if we're looking to off anyone, I mean, you will have some spirits, but
I mean,
I think
Chris has
like-
got someone he needs to get rid of. Knows too much.
only if she listens.
Well, I know one guy who listens who's a friend of both of ours.
Well, shut up. You're linking it. God, shut your mouth.
It's out already.
Might as well say her name.
Say her name. Then
No.
it's
Make him disappear. You know.
What's my name?
What is your name?
Hey, Cam, could you pull up our members? I want to give a special thanks to all those that have been supporting us, even through our breaks.
Yeah.
On Anchor?
No, I'm both Anchor and YouTube.
Anchor,
if you
YouTube.
can.
Just our.
I tried pulling it up on my phone.
Our
And
donating members.
yeah. So obviously, we want to thank each and every one of you just for tuning in. Seriously, like without you guys, we don't have a podcast. I mean, we have a podcast, just no audience, right? So that's no fun. But you guys are here and you guys are here and enable us to do what we do.
Bunch of enablers.
And bunch of enablers. And we thank you for it. So, but those that have gone above and beyond, many of you have stuck even through our breaks of not posting for literally the last 2 months. Like we've posted twice in the last 2 months just because of life.
The craziness.
But seriously, we thank you so much. You guys are literally fueling our next studio, which, any updates, Chris?
Probably not.
How's
right
that
now,
table coming?
Chris has been custom building us a table for our next studio. All this will go away. It'll be
should be a
hidden,
lot cleaner.
and it'll look a lot cleaner, a lot
Some
more
things come up.
professional.
But it will be done soon. I'll
Heck
get it done.
yeah!
So, yep, I will.
I haven't found it yet.
All right, I got a question that
Now we'll take a break from our sponsors.
Oh my god!
while he looks for that, I got a question, and this is off of Ask Reddit. Which cheap and mass-produced item is stupendously well engineered?
Stupid and mass-produced.
No,
Cheap
cheap,
and
and mass-produced.
Oh, cheap
but
and
is stupendously made.
Those
Or
little
engineered.
flosser things.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Hey.
One that always blew my mind is a paper clip. Like I feel like the paper clip is just it's
People
a
use
twist
paper?
It's like a twisted piece of metal that I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Some giant machine has to twist it.
Wait, what?
Which cheap and mass-produced item is stupendously well engineered?
You know it's stupendously cheap because it's a byproduct, it's extremely well engineered. Is one of those drops. What are they called? The oh my gosh, it's just slipped my brain.
Drops.
It's a byproduct of glass when you're building
Oh.
glass. And it's called the something drop.
Yeah.
Tier.
Oh yeah, the teardrop, the glass teardrop.
Oh,
or
I know what
whatever.
you're talking about.
It's that one guy's name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you're right.
So it's
Prince Albert.
yeah, the Prince Albert tier.
Teardrop.
Do not go Google Prince Albert if
Prince
you do not know what that
Rupert.
is.
Oh,
I knew it was Prince
it's
something.
a Prince Rupert's drop. So if you didn't know this, basically,
Goodness.
if you drop
I mean,
glass,
Prince Albert does bring a tear to the eye.
Yes.
that was the joke.
I just said it out loud.
Yeah.
Oh.
Embarrassing moments.
So if you drop glass into water, it literally will form a ball of glass with like a tail. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And it's like dang near indestructible
Right.
until you tap the tail.
You cut the tail, yeah.
But yeah, or even if you like flick it, if you tap the tail or anything, the whole thing will shatter. But you can take a sledgehammer. They've taken what are those?
A compress.
What are those compressors called?
A hydraulic press.
Hydraulic
Yeah.
presses to them, and literally it broke the hydraulic press.
It pushed it into the metal of the other side.
Yeah.
Like it.
It's the epitome of one of those Achilles heel moments where like literally the item is indestructible, but if you even just the slight tickle of the tail will shatter it. It's crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Those things are awesome. I want to play with one. Like I want to see. Like I know they're indestructible, but I still want to try it.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's find some.
I
Make
can
some.
make it.
Do it.
Yeah.
Make it.
Let's make some.
Let's make
it.
Prince Rupert.
Make our table.
We'll make
first.
ours Prince Albert's.
Don't touch the tail.
It's a different kind of tail.
Where do I find their names?
That is a good question. You're on the mobile app there, bud.
I know, because it's
That's
a
what I
mobile
was
device.
trying to browse. To,
Oh,
and
are
I
you on
couldn't
an
find it.
iPad?
Yes.
Oh, I was hoping you could find it in the web. Like a
mean-
web browser.
I was on. I was on here, and then it switched me over there.
You may have to have it do browser.
Here's a good one. Zip ties.
Oh, yeah,
Those
yeah.
are cool.
Zip
Yep,
ties.
great for
You know,
kidnapping and keeping things
It's
together.
actually weird. I was going to mention a letter opener.
It's just a knife.
No,
Only
like
one purpose.
you get those little it's
Oh, those ones.
yeah, those like little slide
those
things,
are
dude.
cool.
They're like perfect.
Oh yeah, I remember
yeah.
those.
Cheap.
People would always put their like business names on them and give them away for
You
free.
remember those? I bought. No, I didn't buy one. So we got.
paid for
Yeah, those are not things you buy.
We
No.
got. I was actually thinking about it on Amazon. It was like $2 for one. I was like, oh, maybe.
That's a lot
But
of
then
money.
we bought Ronnie a new bed, and it was one of those that we bought off of Amazon, got shipped, and I open up the box and everything, and out pops the letter opener, and I was like, what is this doing in here? And it was so I could open up the plastic on the bedding.
Oh,
And I was like,
nice.
this is perfect.
Yeah, that's great.
So,
That's awesome. Yeah, those are things you don't buy. They're just things that you end up with.
Ooh, that's a good question right there. It's like, what's something that everybody has that nobody purchases?
yeah.
That would be funny.
It's like you just kind of have one. It's like, I don't even know how I came about this. I just now have it.
It's just here.
It's kind of like we've talked about it before. Those strawberry candies. It's like you can't find them. You cannot find them anywhere.
Oh,
but
the
yet
hard candy?
every grandma or teacher
Grandma's
has them.
found them, yeah.
I still don't know where to buy.
That's
them. As
because
an
they
adult-
made them in the
Amish-
1920s
the
and they're
Amish
still
store.
just floating around.
Dude, that reminds me.
They
I
have
saw
them
this
at the
video.
Amish store.
I saw. Where the
Amish
heck
store?
is there an Amish store?
Up in North, well,
No, in
Pennsylvania?
Perry.
Perry, yeah.
Pennsylvania, yeah, Ohio. Well, I'm sad to say we cannot pull up our members.
It's been
I
a while.
swear I found it at one point.
There has to be an easier way to see the names of people.
Oh man, that's a
Here's the thing: is you know if you are one, so we thank you.
Yes.
Can you go to youtube.com and then
That's where I was, but as soon as you click on YouTube Studio, it takes you to the app, like forces you.
I'll do it. I'll do it.
Do it.
Sure?
Do it.
Do it.
I'm the wrong person to ask.
Oh, I just hit sign out. No, don't sign me out.
You know what I have at our house? And I know we've purchased them, but I feel like we just have them and I don't remember ever buying this much. Water bottles.
Dude,
Oh yeah, like
my gosh.
nice ones.
Yeah, like we have so many water bottles and I'm like, I don't remember buying all of these.
and they're pretty much all just different shapes of the same exact thing.
Yep. Granted, I know half of it's probably my wife who just buys them.
you know that one
Yeah.
comedian that's on like TikTok and things and he does the like multiple views where it's like what's some of his popular ones?
Trey Kennedy.
Might
it
be.
him?
He's got the like a short beard. He'll usually play like the role of the man and the woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did one recently where he was like, if water bottle brands were real or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one I was going to
Yep.
bring up where he does like the Stanley Cup and the
Hydro Flask,
the
the Yetis,
Yeti. Yeah.
the Nalgene bottles.
Oh, a
And
Nalgene bottle.
Yeah, dude.
Okay.
the funny thing is watching this video, I had heard of maybe 3 of them, but he does probably at least 6 of them. And I'm like, I haven't heard of at least half.
I actually knew of every single one.
Really?
What's the joke on it? Like if they were real?
So he's basically embodying the personality type of that product.
Oh, okay.
One of them was the camel pack. Like,
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Camelback. Dude, my favorite joke of that whole thing is when the Camelback guy says something and the Yeti guy's like, when he's like, I'm not going to take this from some guy wearing a colostomy bag on his back. And then I think it's the Nalgene one's like, oh, I had to use one of those once.
yeah. Well, one of them, he thinks everybody's hot. Like, he's like, what's up? Because one of them, it's even the Starbucks, the Starbucks cups that are the solid plastic and it has the plastic straw.
Oh yeah.
Like the hard plastic straw. But like, one of them, he's constantly referencing rock climbing. He's like, "Oh man, all this is making me really want to go climb this."
The Nalgene one.
Yeah.
Because it's indestructible. He's like, drop me, I'm not breaking. Like,
You know, I had this weird fear. Gosh, where was I driving? Oh, we were driving to the doctor's office the other day. And I was sitting there drinking my drink and I thought, man, what would this straw do to me if I rear-ended something?
Ooh, I've had those moments.
Like I was sitting there just driving. I'm like, because you've seen what a straw will do in the wind, like of a hurricane, where it'll literally like cut through a telephone pole. So it's like, what would that do to the back of your throat?
You wouldn't have a
You know,
throat.
I've always
You'd
had
be
the
drink,
fear.
that straw would stay there and you would drink from it for the rest of your life.
It's
Right?
a tracheotomy.
A permanent one.
No, I've always had the fear, even with just basic like fast food plastic straws. You know how like you take something and you skim the top of it and it curls.
Oh yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know, I've pictured that doing it to the roof of my mouth.
Oh,
Like if you trip and fall and it's like,
So bad.
oh, that's a new fear unlock. Thanks.
All right.
I'm shocked. I'm the only one that's thought of it.
I found the list, and we have a
One more thought. Just
one
real
more
fast.
thought. All right, all right.
No.
Because you just talking about the car accidents and things. I've had really, you know how they say like, when you get in a car accident, does your music continue to play, and so you're like trapped upside down as your music plays? Like I've thought of that same thing with. Like I've gone on drink runs for my work, you know, and I'm trying to balance like 10 different 32-ounce drinks and everything. It's like, man, it's funny as it sounds in my head. I'm like, I would hate to get in a car accident right now and have all of this spill all over my car. Like having my car ruined by the accident is one thing, but to like,
But then it'll be sticky.
yeah, I'm like, this is never gonna come out. Like,
My favorite trend is, and you know, it's kids in their parents' cars without parental advisory.
God.
Because it's always like a video of some kid in the back holding on to tons of water
yeah.
cups.
And he's like, why do we have all this water?
And
They're
then,
like, hold up, there's a bump coming.
and then you just see panic over the kid's face.
guys,
Like, boom!
And it's like, they go hard in the bump. Like that kid lifts out of his seat. Everything's straight up and then straight down.
That one, or they take the tight turn and then pull it back, and so you see the kid go.
Oh man, I see those, and I just feel bad for the car. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, what are you doing? What would I do if that's my own kid?
all right.
I
Anyway.
kill my kid.
Here are our paying members, our biggest supporters. Thank you so much again. And I'm going to go by the total time as a member. So these are our, like, the first ones I list off are the longest supporters we've had.
Nice.
We don't care the amount. I want to make that very clear. It's literally just, if you guys can support us, please do. It really means the world to us. So first, the longest is Esther Hall. I know we all know her name. She sent us
Thanks,
packages
Esther.
before.
Yeah.
She sent us all those gummy bears. And
Yeah.
she's actually
Thank
a
you.
local in the area, which is awesome.
Right on.
Cecilia Christensen. She is one of our international peeps. She's supported Men Try for years. She's been awesome.
Fantastic.
Fantastic. Dorothy Riley, Blitz 9792, also been a huge contributing supporter. Carol Ann Mitchell, Lindsay Taylor, Heather Britton, Amanda Tucker, Patricia Deborah Orris, Kevin Needham, Kristen Pierce, Jared Dickinson, Denise M. Talia, Jennifer Riddick, Kendra Layberger, Overlooked, Mike Hansen, Carrie Lynn 6488, Sean Ryan, Meg, and Austin Torres.
Thank
Thank you
Dang.
guys. Seriously.
Thank you.
That's
guys have been
awesome.
That is
I
incredible.
love that. Was
And-
one of them actually named Overlook, or did you just skip?
That's just their
someone?
username, Overlooked.
I know. I'm teasing.
Oh, okay. But total time as a supporter, Esther Hall and Cecilia Christensen taking the cake at 23 months supporting us.
Wow.
Almost
Dang.
2 full years.
We haven't even been doing it that long.
Oh, and I didn't pull up
What's
the ones
on
on
wing?
Anchor. We've got like a handful of you on Anchor. I'm sorry, I don't have the Anchor ones.
I just pulled up Anchor and it didn't look like there were any.
Oh, do we not have any more?
It doesn't show. It says listener support. You don't have any.
Oh, you know why?
Because they moved over. Because you broke it.
I broke it. We used to have supporters on Anchor, and I thought I was doing something, and then it removed all of them.
Oh my goodness.
I will
Come
say,
back. You probably hurt their feelings.
I literally turned it off, which then kicked them as a supporter, so they didn't It's just that they maybe don't know that they're not supporting us anymore. But I will say, if you guys are going to support us on one platform or another, the actual creator revenue percentage is much higher on Spotify for podcasters.
Yeah.
So if you guys are looking to support us on one platform or another, really it doesn't matter. But more of your pennies per dollar will go to us from Spotify. So
Did you turn it back on?
is it on?
I think it's on.
That's a good question. I don't know.
It looks like it's on. It'll be on when you look for it.
Right on.
Bunch of professionals.
Hey, and also we've got our first sponsored ad that's going to be rolling on a podcast. We got
Yeah.
to figure it out, but things are happening, guys.
Things are growing.
Woo. Things are moving. This is all.
Yeah, ask Chris
Proof.
about that one.
Yeah,
Chris knew.
Chris
Chris is the one
knew.
that found it.
but hey, this is
Attaboy.
all
Yeah.
living proof that we are growing because of your support.
Thank you.
We couldn't do it without you.
Love
Thank
you all.
And that being
all-
said, too, I was going to say, all of you guys who, can't support or just don't have the funds or anything, but you listen to us on a daily basis, or weekly basis, whatever, that's fantastic.
Oh,
So,
dude.
yeah.
You can
Yes,
you
seriously.
can support by listening and sharing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Just sharing.
Word of
So-
mouth is how we grow because we ain't growing any other way. So
Unless you're taking
Be
a nap on
careful.
a Saturday.
I've learned, too, we got to be careful who's listening to this as well.
I missed it, but I
Why?
think I know what. I put
So-
the pieces together.
I got to hear this.
So there's a lady, I'll mention her by name. She's okay with it. Her name's Jenny Smith. She has listened to all of our podcasts. So I can't remember how my mom's next door neighbor, I want to say that's her mom, or I can't remember the relation. Anyway, so my mom goes over there and she's like, "Oh my goodness, you're Zach's mom. I have listened to every single one of his podcasts." And my mom's like, "Oh, that's really cool." She goes, "Yeah, I probably know more about your son than you know." And I was like, my mom called me and I was like, "Yeah,
She's
she
probably
probably
right."
does." I was like, "She's probably heard some stuff that you probably never want to hear."
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Dude, this is therapy right here.
Right.
Like,
I think it's safe to say if you're related to us, you're not allowed to listen to the ones with an E on them.
Yep.
Yeah. Please do not.
Some of
It
my,
is not for the E is not for everyone.
so some of my nephews have listened to this.
Oh,
They listened to this
man.
podcast, and I told them, I said, "Here's the deal. If it says parental advisory or hey, just a heads up, this might not be for young ears, stuff like that," I said, "Stop listening." And I was like, "Or else you're gonna find some stuff out
Now
about
you
your
just put
uncle."
curiosity into their head.
No, I told them this is what scared them away. I said, "You're gonna find stuff out about your uncle and your aunt that you do not want to know." And they kind of go, "Oh, okay.
We
yeah,
gotta
we'll
know
skip
now."
That one.
Kara's kinky. Aunt Kara, so kinky. Oh my God.
I gotta share this story.
Oh no!
Speaking of, it's not terrible. It's not bad. But just speaking of kind of being kinky and stuff like that, we were over at their house having dinner one night at
thank
Zach
God.
and Kara's, and they were talking about their youngest Ronnie, how she'll wear Kara's bras just to be funny, and
She'll walk around and go, "Ooh, look at my big boobs." Ooh.
so she heard us talking about that. All of a sudden, she comes into the room with one of Kara's lingerie tops. And she's like, ooh, and kind of does this. Like, I was gone. I was like, this is awesome.
The worst part is she went through the drawer that you have everything in that one drawer.
The naughty drawer.
Yep, that's the drawer she pulled it out of. And I was like, "You do not need to be going in that drawer." And she goes, "It's funny." And I'm like, "No, stay away."
You know what's funny is growing up, my parents had one of those drawers.
I think
was always
everybody
like,
does.
I was like, why would you put it in such an accessible place?
Dude,
For
I
all of
have
us
you-
kids to find it.
now
But
you
now as an
know.
adult, it's like, well, now I know why.
Yep.
because
don't-
you need it to be accessible.
Yeah.
You don't want to be like, hold on a second.
Yeah.
And then have to put in the code or
Right.
anything. Like, you're just, yeah.
Needs to be voice activated.
Need one of those fingerprint sensors like a gun lock or something. Oh, that's genius.
You got to press that button first.
So you're fingering two things.
And that's the end of the podcast today, friends.
That's our show tonight.
That's it. We're done.
Hashtag fingering.
No.
No.
What is it then?
Hashtag gotta go.
Hashtag
There we
gotta
go.
go. Again, comments,
shark.
thumbs up, ratings, just continual watching and
Yep.
support. We appreciate it all.
Thank you.
We love
Thank you
you.
so
Yes.
much from the bottom of our hearts, and we'll see you guys here next time.
Thanks. Love you guys.
Deuces.
Ciao.
Thanks for being part of this crowd.